Hi everyone, so welcome to the first of my videos. This is to accompany my the Moon Gazers Tarot Practice Club, and this is the first video for January, and this is looking at how to select a card for the year ahead. So as we enter a new calendar year, lots of people like to set up resolutions. You look for ways to improve the new year and continue your personal growth and things like that. And I really like to look at my tarot at this time of year to try and set a theme or an energy or get an idea of the year ahead. So although I don't do much in the way of New Year's resolutions and things like that, I do like to pick a card for the year. So I thought I'd show you how I go about it in this quick video. So I choose a card for the year because I find it really helpful to connect with the specific energy of that individual card. So it can help me when I'm struggling with certain readings or spreads I've done. Sometimes if I just pull out that one card for the energy for the year, that can help just clarify the reading for me. I also find it's quite useful to have a card that is inspiring me for the year, so I can really connect with that energy for the year ahead. So there's two different ways to do this. So there's the way where you look at the cards or you don't, basically. So I'm going to use my Dark Mansion deck. Now you can do this with the entire deck. That is entirely up to you. I personally like to do it with just the major arcana. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull the major arcana out of my deck. Because for me, because it's for the year, I think it needs to be big energy, big message. So I like to go for just the majors. Of course, if you feel drawn to use your entire deck, do that. If you want to use an oracle deck, you can do that too. It doesn't have to be a tarot card for the year. But personally, I always like to just pull out the major arcana, and from them I'm going to choose a card. So I will just go through all of these and then just pick out my major. So for this, I tend to choose a deck that I use a lot. So as you can see, the edges are a bit ruffled now. I would definitely say my Dark Mansion is a heavily used deck, not just for myself. I've got one of my closest friends. I nearly always have this deck of cards in my bag, and she just likes to pull them out and sometimes just spends time looking through the images. She does her own interesting way of reading there. She literally goes through, and then every now and then certain cards will be drawn to them, and then I kind of like tell her what that might mean and things like that. But it's quite a sociable deck. It gets used a lot. So there's different ways you can pick your card of the year. So you can lay the cards out upright and let yourself be drawn to a certain energy of the card. You can just shuffle. As you can see, I'm not a very exciting shuffler. I don't do the lovely like riffle shuffle. Is it riffle or ruffle? So I'm useless, but I can't do the fancy shuffling. So for me, I just play with the deck, and I'm just going to be thinking about, what do I want this year to bring? And I'm going to let a card come to me. I've got an idea in my head. The last few years have been interesting for all of us, I think it's safe to say. And the last few months of this year have really been quite exhausting for me. So I've got an idea in my head of the kind of card and the energy I want to connect to this year. So I will most likely select my card of the year very consciously. But this is a good way to select subconsciously. So I'm just going to shuffle, might cut them a few times. Going to lay out, and then I'm just going to take a little minute just to think about what I want from the year, what I hope to achieve, you know, any good things I know along the way, any things I want to avoid, or maybe the lessons I want to have learnt from last year so that none of that gets repeated this year. And then I'm just going to let myself be drawn to a card. that's actually really quite interesting. So subconsciously I've chosen the Sun, which is a fantastic card for my card of the year. The card I was at, there was two cards I was thinking of, either Temperance or the Star. Because I feel in my coming year I really want to focus on finding that balance again and finding an equilibrium. I can see myself using the Star in conjunction with that as well. So I might even have one or two for my card of the year. But these, if I pull out the other ones, so you can just lay all your cards out and just let yourself be pulled to one. But so I'm probably going to choose between one of these two, but I do love that I subconsciously pulled the Sun. The idea is that this card, I'll be using it in readings through the year, and some of those readings are, so month ahead, week ahead, and I pick out the card of the year. The reason I say to use a deck that you use a lot, first of all, it'll have the right energy and the right connection with you, but not just that, as you go through the year, so if I want to do my month ahead, I can easily do that. I can use any deck I like, and so I can either pull out my card of the year from that deck, or when I go to do that, draw that spread for the month ahead, I can pull this card from my Dark Mansion, and then if I want to use different cards for the rest of the spread, I can. And then if the Sun comes up twice, then it does. That's how it works out. So yeah, so that is just a very brief, she's very brief as she's rambled on for almost 10 minutes, video on how I pick my card of the year. So I love that I unconsciously pulled the Sun. That might stay as my card of the year. I'm just going to spend a lot of time with that card and then really make sure I'm happy to connect with that energy and take it forward through the year. So I hope you found this video useful. If you're part of the exclusive members group, please head on over, make sure you're in that group, and don't forget to share with me your card of the year. So I'd love to see not only your decks, but the cards, whether you've chosen it consciously or subconsciously, and the energies you're going to be connecting with that card through the year. So thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye!